Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that I've experienced a lot. It's something that is very challenging, something that can feel absolutely overwhelming at times, and something that has kept me in bed for weeks at a time. Sometimes even I went through one stage where I was in bed for months at a time. It can make us feel utterly hopeless and empty, and it can make everything around us and make our lives just feel pointless. And what I'm talking about is depression. Severe depression, I think, is who I really want to talk to right now, and I want to just kind of share my story and some of the things I learned from it, and hopefully give you something to relate to know that what you're going through right now is nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be guilty of. You're not letting anyone down. Um, There's nothing also at the same time to be worried about. Depression isn't something that we need to become afraid of. It's simply just there to teach you more about who you are and about just life. It's just an opportunity for growth like anything. But depression isn't really like anything, because when you're going through it, you feel like there's no way out. I know when I was going through it about a year and a half ago, I felt like it was going to last forever. I felt like there was no way I could ever pull myself out of it. There was nothing I could think that would help. There were no thoughts. There was nothing I could go do. I mean, I would force myself countless times to try to exercise, to go on walks, to eat healthy food, to take all the vitamins and supplements I heard about, I could possibly try. I tried everything. I mean, everything. I would see a psychiatrist, psychologist, um, and just for a while there, nothing worked, and I didn't understand. And a lot of what I felt like at the time, I felt so trapped in the emotions, and I felt so like such a victim, because in a sense I was, because I had no understanding of what was happening to me. I had no framework for it. I had no conception of it. It just kind of boom hit me, and it was just on me, and it was just like this heavy cloud, and it was more like even being in just like a hell realm, where everything just felt awful, and there was no joy, nothing. I mean, not even close to joy. It was just, and it was the thing I remember most about it is it was just constant, and it was just every fucking day, every second, and it just was never ending. And then I just remember the people around me being really concerned, and then that adding more guilt to me, and wondering like, why can't I just pull myself together? Why can't I just be a regular person? And I just remember feeling so bad about myself, and just like just so bad for myself in a way too, because I was completely lost, and I had no idea why this was happening, and I felt like kind of like an outcast, like less than. I felt like, you know, I must be doing something wrong. There must be something wrong with me. And after having gone through it and getting to the other side, I can see that all those things were just illusions, those were just deluded thoughts in my mind that I was believing and taking to be true, and that none of those things were true. But it was a long road. It was really, really hard. I did have suicidal ideations. I was very suicidal at times. I just wanted out. I just wanted to get the F out of what I was feeling, and I wanted to escape all of the negative feelings and the negative thoughts I was having. It was just overwhelming for me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So that's just a little bit of my story, to spare you any more details. I'm sure I'll cover more details in later videos, but really I just wanted to make this video to share that, and I wanted to share two things, just two simple things that I learned about depression that might help you. Um, the two things are depression is either mental depression or it's physiological depression, or it can be both at the same time. And that's what I had. I had both mental and physiological. So mental depression is just believing, is just unconsciously believing deluded thoughts. And when we unconsciously believe deluded thoughts, those thoughts create negative energy within, and those thoughts also create our experience of reality, because our beliefs create our reality. So when we're believing, when we're unconsciously believing deluded thoughts, we're going to be we're going to be experiencing that reflection in our life, and that can lead to a mental depression where our thoughts just get progressively more and more negative, and then we keep believing the more and more negative thoughts, and those lead to more negative thoughts, and it just becomes an ever expanding and ever increasing negative cycle that we get into. And then we get this really high mind momentum. I got really high mind momentum where I was having so many negative thoughts. It just became like this obsessive thing, and I kind of got addicted to the negativity in my head. And it was just, I didn't have any space from it anymore. It was just constantly negative thoughts going through my mind, and I was giving all my power of belief to them, and then that just kept them growing and growing. And I was also trying to escape them and get rid of them, and that also just perpetuated more of them and had them grow and grow. So, because whatever we resist persists, and I was resisting everything. So that's one way, one aspect of depression. The second aspect is a physiological depression, and that's suppressed negative energy in the body. And what that means is just a really low state. In life, there's naturally highs and lows, an ebb and a flow. But when we're depressed, we have this just unnaturally low state for extended periods of time. I would say at least for 2 weeks or more is a clinical perspective on if you have depression or not. So the reason we get suppressed negative energy is, all of us, to some extent, are socially conditioned. We're conditioned to believe certain things about the world and ourselves. And when we believe things about the world and ourselves that aren't in alignment with our natural expression, with who we really are, with our authentic self, what happens is the body starts taking on negative emotions, because when we act in a way that isn't in accordance with who we are, we feel bad. We feel a negative emotion. So when we take that action that society says we should take, when we take that prescribed path, when we take that job that doesn't make us happy, but we are doing it to get the validation of others in society and to be viewed highly by someone else, even though it's not our natural expression. When we do things like that, we create negative emotions because it feels really bad to not harness and to not be who you came to be. It starts creating negative emotions within the body. And when these negative emotions come up, we don't like them, we don't want to feel them, so we end up suppressing them, or we end up trying to escape them in some way, maybe with alcohol, drugs, anything. It doesn't have to be alcohol and drugs. It could be workaholism. It could be like constantly watching TV, or always on your phone, or always on social media. It could be taking drugs that numb us from our emotions. It could be creating unhealthy, toxic relationships that have a lot of drama that pull us away from what we're feeling, but in a way they just create more of it. So there's all kinds of ways that we try to escape and suppress these emotions. But what ends up happening is the negative emotions we're feeling for not living a true and authentic life, they don't go anywhere. They just stay in our body and continue to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And if we stay on a path that isn't true for long enough, and we start generating enough negative emotions and we keep suppressing them and escaping them for long enough, eventually there's going to be such a buildup that our energy levels are going to really sink. Because it's well known that a negative emotion will reduce the physical strength of your body by 50%. And negative emotions, when kept in the body, they drain away your vitality. They drain away the body's ability to function. Every major organ in the body is negatively impacted. We don't heal as quickly. Our immune system is compromised. We get sick easier. Our thinking becomes more foggy. We have this lethargy inside of us, and just almost like we're carrying around a weight, because these negative emotions are just weighing really heavily on us. So those are the two reasons, the two ways we can be depressed. And like I said, I was suffering from both of them. The way out is always through, and I want to really stress that point. When we have this suppressed negative energy going on, and we have this unconscious pattern of believing negative thoughts, the only way out is to allow the suppressed energy up, to feel it, to open to it, to stop resisting it, to stop suppressing it and escaping it. And the only way out of the high mind momentum is to just observe our thoughts and let them be there, but just observe them, and to not give them our power of belief. We don't have to contract on every thought. We don't have to give every thought all of our interest and be pulled by the negativity. We can see the negativity, but we can just allow it to be there. And we're just space. We're not saying yes or no to it. We're not trying to resist it and get rid of it, but we're not trying to say, yes, I believe it either. We're just letting it be there. And then slowly, over time, the mind momentum will reduce. Those obsessive negative thoughts will start to dissolve, and you'll feel more space from them. And then as we let up all that suppressed negative energy, we're going to start feeling a little bit lighter in our bodies, and we're going to start having a little more space from just that heaviness, and we're going to become more alive, more vital. And the combination of those two things is really going to start shifting our experience of life, because they feed each other. If you're believing negative thought patterns, those thought patterns create negative emotions. And if you're suppressing negative emotions in your body, those suppressed negative emotions are fueling more negative thought patterns. So it's a cycle, but we can break the cycle. It can be done. I'm not going to tell you it's easy or that it's going to be an instant fix, because it's not, but I will tell you it's absolutely worth it. And it has the potential, it will, if you can do this, it will change your life for the better. But the first thing we need to do is to take an empowered approach and to not make excuses for our powerlessness. Because when we're doing that, then nothing can be done for us and nothing's going to change. But if we see that we are strong enough and we have the courage to face the negative inner emotions and to allow ourselves to feel them, if we believe that we can just allow ourselves to be aware of the negative thoughts but not give our power belief to them, then we can start to heal ourselves, and we can start to come into a more true expression, a more alive expression, and we can really start to feel this depression that feels so hopeless and just so awful. We can feel it start to lift, and we can start regaining our lives back. And it's just one step at a time, one day at a time. All you need to do, my call to action to you, is today, after you watch this video, take 5 minutes. And you know what? 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all I'm asking you for. Go lay down or sit down, close your eyes, and just let go and allow it all to come up. And don't resist anything. Don't try to block anything out. Just let it all come up, and have the courage to sit with it all the negativity that you're dealing with. Just have the courage to allow it to come up. Have the courage to surrender to it for 2 minutes a day. Do it for a week for 2 minutes a day. gradually move that to 5, to 10, to 20. And when you're doing this every day, you will notice huge changes in your life, and it won't take as long as you think. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe it's helpful to you. It's a lot of what I went through. It's very challenging and can be very dark at times, and I want you guys to experience life without depression, and I want you to what's even better is experiencing the healing process that, is right in front of you. You just have to embrace it and open to it, and you can heal yourself. You can do it. It can be done. So hope you guys enjoyed this, or at least found some value out of it. And if you're going through something really challenging, if you're going through intense depression, severe depression, feel free to drop a comment and let me know if you have any questions about it. I'd be more than happy to answer it. But I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching.